This is part 4 of 3H problem. In the last part, we wrote a computer program for the general 3H problem using recursive statements, and we also proved that the final claimed number will always be the sum of the other two numbers. If you have noted, the program we developed is computationally intensive. For example, if the numbers of Albert, Brinda and Cain are 14, 130 and 144, the number of conversations it takes is 21, with finally Cain claiming his number to be 144. That is, the conversation length of 14, 130, 144 is 21. But to get this, the computer has to check hundreds of lakhs of statements recursively. That is, the number of statements to check increases exponentially with the conversation length. We can improve it by saving the previous calculated results instead of calculating them every time, something called dynamic programming. Even then, it is computationally intensive work, not only for us, for Albert, Brinda and Cain as well. In this part, let us look at the strategical way to solve this problem more easily and efficiently. Let us recall the things we have done in part 3. At the nth conversation, the student may say, I don't know my number, or he can claim his number. If at the nth conversation the student says, I don't know, then the statement Sn of ABC is equal to 0. If the student claims his number, then it is 1. So, we calculate statement 1, statement 2, statement 3 and so on successively till we get the value 1, and correspondingly the conversation length of ABC is equal to n. Suppose the final person who claims his number be Albert. Remember, Albert's number can be A1 or A2, where A1 is absolute value of B minus C and A2 is B plus C. So, Albert's claimed number must be A2, which is B plus C. As we have seen that the final claimed number will always be the sum of the other two. So, A is equal to A2. This means A1 has been eliminated while checking with the previous two statements. That means statement n minus 2, that is Sn minus 2 of A1 BC is equal to 1, or statement n minus 1 of A1 BC is equal to 1. This means length of A1 BC is either n minus 2 or n minus 1. Remember that since n is Albert's turn, at n minus 2 it is Brinda's turn, and at n minus 1 it is Cain's turn. So, length of A1 BC is equal to n minus 2 or n minus 1, and length of ABC is equal to 1, not A is equal to A2. Therefore, length of A1 BC is less than length of A2 BC. If A is equal to A2, that means A is the sum of the other two numbers B plus C. Albert will be the one who claims his number finally. If A is equal to A1, then it is either Brinda or Cain who will claim their number finally. Also, if A is equal to A1, the conversation length is lesser than when A is equal to A2. So, if Albert finds a way to calculate length of A1 BC, then he just has to wait till the conversation length. If no one has claimed their number, then that means A is not equal to A1. So, in the next immediate turn, Albert can claim his number to be A2. And this strategy will mimic the behavior of the recursive thinking. Similarly, others can also follow the same. Summarizing the strategies, for Albert, calculate length of A1 BC, wait till that conversation. If no one has claimed their number, in the next immediate turn, claim the number as A2. For Brinda, calculate length of A B1C, wait till that conversation. if no one has claimed their number, in the next turn claim the number as B2. Finally, for Cain, calculate length of A, B, C1, wait till that conversation. If no one has claimed their number, in the next turn claim the number as C2. That is, each person assumes that their number is not the sum of the other two numbers. Based on that, each one calculates the conversation length for the other possibility, that is absolute difference of other two numbers. Then they wait till that conversation. If no one claims the number at that time, then the assumption must be wrong. So in the next immediate turn, they claim their number as the sum of the other two. So this is the strategical way that mimics the recursive thinking. Now, how can we calculate the conversation length? Note, if someone sees other two numbers as equal, then he can claim his number as their sum right away. So if in the first step Albert sees B equal to C, then he can claim his number right away. So length of ABC is equal to 1 if B is equal to C. Similarly, in the second step, if Brinda sees A equal to C, then she can claim her number as their sum. So length of ABC is equal to 2 if A is equal to C. Finally, if Cain sees A equal to B, then he can claim his number as their sum in the third step. So length of ABC is equal to 3 if A equal to B. Now, what if A, B and C are different? Before seeing the general case, let us make some definitions for our convenience. Let us first define the function max of ABC. So max of ABC tells which is the largest number among A, B and C. If A is the largest, max of ABC is equal to 0. If B is the largest, max of ABC is equal to 1. If C is the largest, then max of ABC is equal to 2. So 0 for A, 1 for B, 2 for C. Now let the numbers of Albert, Brinda and Cain be ABC. We know the person whose number is the sum of the other two will be the first one to claim his number. That is, the person with the largest number will be the first one to claim his number. So by applying the function max of ABC, we can get the person who claims his number finally. If max of ABC is equal to 0, then Albert claims his number finally. If max of ABC is equal to 1, then it is Brinda. If max of ABC is equal to 2, then it is Cain. Now consider length of ABC. There are three cases. The largest number can be A, B or C. That is, max of ABC is equal to 0, 1 or 2. Now let us consider the case when max of ABC is equal to 0. That is, Albert finally claims his number. How could that have happened? Albert would have calculated length of A1 BC and waited till that time, and he would have observed that no one had claimed their number. So in the next immediate turn, he would have claimed his number as A2, that is B plus C. So the total number of conversations is length of A1 BC plus number of conversations till Albert's next turn. Now let us calculate this part. So Albert waits till length of A1 BC. So whose turn is it at length of A1 BC? It is either Brinda or Cain, and that can be found by using our max function. So if max A1 BC is equal to 1, then it is Brinda's turn at length of A1 BC. If max A1 BC is equal to 2, then it is Cain's turn. If it is Brinda's turn, then Albert's turn comes after Cain's. So there will be two conversations. So number of conversations till Albert's next turn is equal to 2. If it is Cain's turn, Albert's turn comes next. So there will be one conversation. So number of conversations till Albert's next turn is equal to 1. We can also do this in another way. Let us denote Albert's turn as 0, Brinda's turn as 1 and Kane's turn as 2, like in our max function. And remember that each person turn comes every third time. So suppose if the current turn is Brinda's and we need the next turn of Albert's, so since they follow cyclical pattern with repetition every third time, we can find the number of conversations between them by taking their difference modulo 3, that is 0 minus 1 mod 3, that is 2. So in general we can write that as max of ABC minus max of A1BC mod 3. So number of conversations till Albert's next turn is this. Now the other two cases, what if max of ABC is equal to 1 and what if max of ABC is equal to 2 or similar. So for 1 this and for 2 this. We can combine them, we can combine all of them into a single equation, like length of ABC is equal to length of XYZ plus max of ABC minus max of XYZ mod 3, where XYZ is formed from ABC by replacing the largest number with the absolute difference of the other two. So this together with the initial conditions is all they need to play out their strategies. Now let us see how they play the game. Let us consider one of the solution to our original problem, A equal to 36, B equal to 108 and C equal to 144. Albert sees B equal to 108 and C equal to 144. He calculates A1 equal to absolute value of B minus C, that is 144 minus 108, which is 36. So he calculates length of A1 BC, that is length of 36, 108, 144. Note that the largest number is 144. So we have to replace that with the difference of the other two. Applying that recursive formula, we get this. So note in max of 36, 108, 144, 144 is the largest, so it is 2. Similarly in max 36, 108, 72, 108 is the largest, so it is 1. So we get this. Now similarly we use recursion for length of 36, 108, 72. We get this. So finally we have come to the base case. Length of 36, 72 is 3 since A is equal to B. So the value is 6. This detailed calculation is to show how easier it is to do it. So Albert's strategy now is to wait till 6th conversation. Similarly, Brinda sees A equal to 36, C equal to 144. So B1 is equal to absolute value of A minus C, which is 144 minus 36, which is 108. So she calculates length of A B1C, which is length of 36, 108, 144. She calculates in the similar way, and that is 6. So she too waits till 6th conversation. Now Kane sees A equal to 36, B equal to 108. So C1 is equal to absolute value of A minus B, which is 108 minus 36, that is 72. So he calculates length of AB C1, which is length of 36, 108, 72. Calculating this in the similar way, we get 5. So Kane waits till 5th conversation. Note that both Albert and Brinda are waiting till 6th conversation. So at 5th conversation, Brinda does not claim her number. Kane, who is waiting for the 5th step, notices that, and in his next turn, that is in the 6th conversation, claims his number to be sum of 36 and 108, that is 144. So rather than doing the computationally intensive recursive thinking, they follow a very simple strategy and shows the same behavior as the recursive thinking. That is the beauty of this strategical way. Now coming to the problem, using this simple recursive equation, we can calculate the conversation length of all possible cases from 143, 144 to 142, 144, 3, 141, 144 and so on up to 143, 144. The solutions are just the cases where we get length of AB144 is equal to 6, and in this way again we get the same 5 solutions that we got in part 2. I attached the C program in the description below, and with this let us end this part. This strategical way is the most amazing thing I came across, and that is why this problem is so awesome. I tried to get some closed formula for that recursive function but could not find out. So I modified the problem a bit, and this variation of the problem will be so amazing, and that is the story of the next final part. Keep pondering. Thank you.